What's this, 107 and 107.9? Good morning, Facebook. Well, actually, it's afternoon. I had a late night, brothers and sisters, so y'all will forgive me. My late night job takes me down to 4 in the morning, so I didn't really get a lot of sleep because I had to get up and do a Zoom. I'm working with this organization called Roar out of Norristown for the brothers and sisters that's down there. But today, I want to greet y'all as I treat y'all 360 degrees of peace and paradise in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum, and to the Supreme Angel, Salam Allah. I want to take and hit the root of our objectives in the Nation of Islam, and I dare say the goal of proper religion from God's guidance. The currency of truth. What is that? This is my message today. What is the currency of truth? When we say currency, right, we could be talking about a flow, we could be talking about a conduit, or we could be talking about the value, the cash value of something. What is the currency of truth? In the Nation of Islam, we say we have a flag, the sun, moon, and stars. And this sun, moon, and stars given to us by God in person represents freedom, justice, and equality. And these three things we identify as being Islam. We don't see Islam as being anything other or anything independent of freedom, justice, and equality. That's what Islam means to us. And this is rooted in, if you look at the teachings or the purpose in which God raised Moses among the children of Israel, they were in abject slavery. So the guidance that came through Moses was to free them from that abject slavery. After Moses came Jesus. The people who were supposed to be following the teachings and guidance of Moses and his liberation struggle then found themselves again subjected to another power, Romans. And when Jesus' guidance came to them, his guidance came in the form of not merely freedom, but what the people then were suffering from under the colonialization and imperialism of another system. So Jesus' guidance was justice. So you have freedom, and then you have justice. Now, when Prophet Muhammad came to the Arabs, Prophet Muhammad came in order to bring about not just freedom and not just justice, but what the people suffered from in that day and time was not the absence of equality. That's an important distinction, because they believed in 360 idols. So from their perspective, they believed in equality, but that equality did not extend to everyone. It extended specifically to those who embraced the belief system and the economic freedoms that were given specifically in Arabia at that time. So the Prophet Muhammad came to effectuate equality. It first started with the oppressive nature in which women were dealt with in his society. Then it proceeded to those who were in physical bondage, elevating them from their bondage to equality with the other people that was there. His most famous statement is, there's no superiority of an Arab over a non-Arab, of a black over a white. So he wanted to erect this equality. So these are the three things that came from the three major prophets that came from God. Moses, freedom; Jesus, justice; and Muhammad, equality. And these three things are what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us is quintessentially at their root Islam. Any Islam or any religion or goddess that comes from God that does not offer you freedom, that does not offer you equality, and that does not offer you justice, this is not a teaching from God. It is the construction of man to deceive man and keep other men in bondage. Freedom, justice, equality equals Islam. You have to say this again and again inside your mind. Freedom, justice, and equality equals Islam. Freedom, justice, and equality equals Islam. Messenger Elijah Muhammad tells us that when we are in accord with freedom, justice, and equality, right? That what then occurs, I'm sorry, bro. What then occurs is that we understand the rights that come out of having freedom, justice, and equality, and then we understand what oppression is that denies freedom, justice, and equality. What is that? Money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. The goal of Islam is to give everybody freedom, justice, and equality. And in those goals, in order to achieve them, the people has to be educated and informed. Go ahead. You're in a rush to get there. The people have to be informed and educated and acculturated in how to get money, how to connect with true friendship, right? And they have a right to have good homes and friendships in all walks of life. This is the goal of the currency of truth, right? That truth has to have a currency, has to have a value. So if you're saying you're giving me a truth, right, and I don't have freedom, your truth is bankrupt. If you're saying you're giving me the truth and your truth doesn't enable me to have justice, your truth is bankrupt. It has no currency. If you're saying you're giving me the truth and your truth does not enable me to effectuate and establish equality on true terms with everybody, then your truth is bankrupt. If you're saying that you're giving me the truth and you represent this truth as Islam, and it lacks these three fundamental principles, freedom, justice, and equality, your truth is bankrupt. I don't care what sheikh, what minister, what rabbi, what preacher, what scholar, I don't care which one of these individuals gave that to you. It's a bankrupt truth. It has no currency whatsoever. If you're saying you're giving me a truth and this truth does not concentrate my thinking and my behavior to produce money, which is needed in this world in order to establish a respectful life for me and my family, for my wife and my kids, for my community, my neighborhood, and my nation, then your truth is bankrupt. It has no currency. It cannot be from God because God does not give a truth that does not have currency. He does not give a truth or a guidance that does not possess the goal of achieving and the capability of achieving freedom, justice, and equality. This is the nature of God's truth. It has to have this currency. What is it that you say that you have and that you represent? What's your minhaj? What's your path? What's your culture? What is the greatest thing that you say that you've gotten from God in terms of guidance? Present it to the world. And then the way we'll judge it is we'll see if it's really dedicated to freedom. We'll see if it's really dedicated to justice. We'll see if it's really dedicated to equality. We'll see if it's really dedicated to producing money that the people need to survive. Does it enable them to establish good homes and friendships in all walks of life? If it's incapable of doing these things, if it promises these things and does not deliver, then, you know, as your brother, I have no choice but to tell you that which you claim to be the goddess of God is the deception of the devil, because it has no currency. And if it has no currency, you can't spend it in life. You know, it's not by its principles the truth, because truth has to have currency. I am your brother. I love y'all, and I teach y'all as I treat y'all in 360 degrees of peace and paradise. Enjoy your day. To the community, assalamu alaikum, and to the supreme angel, salam alaikum.